G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We're here on the Sultan's Ascent expansion pack for Age of Empires 4 on a brand new map. This, of course, is... I'm trying to remember the name of the map. It's not the Pit. I don't know why I'm thinking Forge. It's obviously not that either. But you guys know the map anyway. Not a good start. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, in the south side of the map, in the color blue, playing as the English, we've got Striker. And on the north side of the map, in the color purple, playing as the Byzantines, it's Washed Up Caster. No, ladies and gentlemen, I am not casting myself. I'm casting a fellow caster today. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for that absolutely cursed start of a game. Excuse me, how quick would you like your second cistern? And he's just said absolutely right now. That is a very quick second cistern that is coming in right here for Crackety here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Crackety up in the north here, a fellow caster. I wouldn't necessarily say he's washed up though. So, I don't know where he's getting that name from. Maybe he's just channeling his inner Drongo. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on Gorge. There we go. I got it. I knew. Hey. Look, I'll be honest. I knew it all along. There wasn't a play. I'm 100% fine. I'm coherent. I'm good. Anyway, how you guys doing? Look, I'll be honest. I'm having a lot of fun casting Age of Empires 4 at the moment. You might notice there's like some inconsistency in the posting of the channel, and I just want to reassure people I'm loving Age of Empires 4. It's just that life's a bit busy at the moment. Obviously, we've just gotten back from a holiday, and I tell you what, the house was an absolute mess. Slowly but steadily, I'm getting on top of it, and it's taken its time. And you know, it's hard, right? Because it's like I need to balance work and life, and on one hand, work only takes 30 minutes for me to record a video. But on the other hand, my obsessive compulsive disorder will not permit me to record a video until the house is clean. So it's very difficult. It's a battle of really trying to overcome the OCD. The house just must be clean. But anyway, look, it's... I remember when I was younger, I was reading about obsessive-compulsive disorder, and it turns out there's like a whole bunch of different things that you can get with obsessive-compulsive disorder. Like you can get... there's one for hoarding. So some people who have OCD will just be really prone to hoarding. Not even prone to hoarding. I don't think that's the right term for it, but they'll just be compulsive hoarders. But for me, I got the one where it's cleaning, and it's just like, I just need to clean. Everything's got its place. Everything's got its space. You know, the TV remote control has to be in the exact same little spot. And I'll be honest, it's kind of hard going from, riding solo as my younger self to now having a wife and kids, because all of a sudden they don't respect the obsessive compulsive disorder. It's like, excuse me, that pot plant is 13 mil out of position. I'm going to need to change that. And it just keeps moving back, and I don't know why. Turns out my son, he's trying to spin it. Anyway, look, we got landmarks coming down. That's 3 minutes of rambling for you. Let's get into the game, because it's time for us to do it. We've got our Byzantine player, Crackety here, aging up with the Imperial Hippodrome. A really nice opening landmark here, up against the English with the Council Hall. Of course, I talk about this every single time we get one of these counter landmark matchups. The CLMs, as I like to call them. We've got a council hall that loves to produce longbowmen, aka archers, and on the other side we've got a hippodrome that produces horsemen, and horsemen, the natural counter to the longbowmen, which means that we've got a bit of a natural counter here with the Byzantines against the English. Now, of course, you can make it yourself a spearman, but it's just one of those things where it's nice to have. You know, if you're playing rock, paper, scissors, this is like your opponent going rock, and you've managed to pick paper, and that's the first round done. Congratulations. There's still another 20 rounds to go. It's a best of 21 in this rock, paper, scissors tournament that's hypothetical. Now, another question. Do you say rock, paper, scissors or scissor, paper, rock? Because for me, where I'm from, Canberra in Australia, we say scissor, paper, rock. And ever since I've grown up, like, people have just been like, that's weird. Don't say that. And I've had to try and correct myself, but I just keep going back to my roots. It's scissor, paper, rock, isn't it? It's going to upset some people. Anyway, look, we got the Hippodrome coming out. We've got Triumph charges being added. Second level cistern coming through for him. Okay, so didn't go for the third level. Now just going to be moving 3 vills over onto gold. So we'll be thinking about upgrades. Might be thinking about spending a little bit of time here in the feudal age as well. Typically, you know, either you see a lot of vills on stone or you see a handful of vills on gold, but that's only 3. So could be looking for eco upgrades. That could be an option for him, but of course the horseman now out, going to be stopping any kind of early scouting shenanigans coming out from Striker. We're right on board with him, as it looks like we've got farms beginning to come up for him as well. Longbow mass beginning to build. Now, of course, he's not playing up against the French or JD, aka Joan of Arc, or John Dark, as some people call her. You know, I felt like Trump just saying, as some people call her, John Dark. Anyway, look, you're only up against horsemen here. Spearmen are good, but you don't have to go for them. If you get enough longbows, you're going to be fine, because eventually you can make up some you can make up some men-at-arms. But I'm curious to see exactly how he looks to play this out, because he's got the 3 vills on gold, does get the palings out, just chilling on the gold vein as well. Very nicely positioned. Longbow numbers, still just making sure he stays close to the town center. It's curious to see how in this matchup it is the Byzantines that actually control the early game. Now, of course, he could look to put down that early racks, but you're kind of giving away a lot of your advantage if you do that, because it means that the Byzantine player can then look to pick up upgrades, whereas you will be playing without them. Whereas here we've gone for double broadaxe, we've gone for wheelbarrow. On the other side of the map, we do see wheelbarrow coming through, or rather double broadaxe coming through for Crackety here. We're right on board with him as he looks to continue adding more and more cavalry to the mix here, but hold your horses. We've got an archery range up. Now, keep in mind, he's got... Oh, that's a lot of vills moving out. Is he outposting? Oh, you going for a sneaky little tower? Oh, don't mind if I do. I like this a lot. I think this makes a lot of sense here. One of the difficulties you're going to have is you're going to have difficulties getting the English player off the gold vein. And if he's thinking, you know, maybe there's a bit of a castle age coming up here, if we can knock that gold out, we're going to be in a really solid spot. And he's brought more than one villager. We've got 2 vills on the way, which means he is in a little bit of a hurry to get this outpost up. So I'm curious to see exactly how he plays this, but I'm liking this commitment early on here from Crackety. Now, keep in mind, in the event that this outpost does get up, that's going to really limit the options for Striker when it comes to gold, because this gold's shut down, but of course, the available gold's behind it. There are 2 of them, and they will be shut down by that as well. Now, of course, you can go around it, but then all of a sudden, now you're exposed to a potential... Is it called like a jackknife or something like that? I feel like it probably is, but... The longbows are going to have difficulty looking up the hill, and you can see right here just how limited their line of sight is. I'm curious to see... No, it looks like he's going to be going for an aggressive outpost. We did see the placement coming down just here, so if we reveal it, it will be right next to that gold. But now moving forward, we do see that longbow number starting to look good, and the outpost will get cancelled. He says, oh my gosh, that's actually a lot of longbows. I didn't think that was coming. And yeah, I didn't see that coming either. Double farms, and look at this English opening. I'm going to remark right now how much I love this English opening. I think this is so damn cute. We've got an English player who's not going for a standard fast castle, right? Like, if you've got, think about a fast castle, right? What's a fast castle? It's a castle age that goes quickly. So you're thinking about like maybe a 7-minute 30, 8-minute 30, somewhere around that region of castle age timing. What's unique about this is that Striker's gone for wheelbarrow, he's gone for his double broadaxe, and he's gone for a farming economy. So he wants to make sure that his infrastructure, his economic advantage is maintained despite going to castle age. And I think that's really smart. But now, we see the horsemen begin to push through. They're going to be able to drop that triumph ability. You can see they're going to be able to survive maybe 1 or 2 extra volleys from those longbows. But both of them do get cleaned up. Outpost is coming up. If he can secure the outpost, he can look to get arrow slits in it, then bunny hop that forward to another one. The archer numbers starting to look pretty sour down here, and I think Striker might have it. He realizes the villagers could be the main focus in the outpost at 699 of 750. Looks like Lord Doubt will be smiling upon it today, but the horseman runs through. He's going to make a decent connection. Needs to make sure this villager stays alive. It's got 1 more volley left. He could turn around and look to take it out. Exactly what he does. It's down on 2 health. The longbows aren't going to be able to get it. The horseman continues to strike down on that longbow, and he's just got to keep it on the backside. Beware of wolves. Beware of boars. Beware of anything that may potentially end this. And I think he realizes he can't do it. He can't commit unless he wants to throw away another villager. And Striker able to hold against that early Byzantine aggression. The days I'll be honest, I never thought I would see the day where I would be saying the early Byzantine aggression against the English. What is this? Now, let's check in with how Crackety here is doing on that north side of the map. Outpost is coming down. This is a great indicator of what his plans are. You guys will notice with 6 villagers near the gold vein, it is almost certainly a castle age for him as well. Now, I would suspect that both players are going to be looking for that timing somewhere around that 10, 11, 12 minute mark. The question is going to be, Who goes into the castle age with a bigger economy? Who's got more bang for the buck when it comes to the eco? Because at the moment, Crackety, he's not really that flash hot with his upgrades, if we think about it from, the economic perspective. There's no wheelbarrow, there's a double broadaxe, but there's no horticulture. He's looking to pick up survival techniques, which is nice, but he's only got 8 villagers on food out here when he's got 25 villagers in total on food. So that's the majority of them here underneath the town center. And a couple on berries, of course. Now, I'm going to throw down that mercenary house, but compare that over to his opponent, and you've got some serious problems to deal with right now. We are talking a whole bunch of farms, 11 farms, double broadaxe, wheelbarrow, but no horticulture just yet. But that age up about to come through right now, and I can tell you what, Striker's going to be really thankful that that outpost didn't get up. If that outpost got up, it would be a completely different ball game here, because once that outpost gets up, now all of a sudden, now you need to contest it. Do you commit to bring all the villagers and take it down? If you do, then all of a sudden you're losing a lot of gather time, so your opponent's getting a real good value outpost. If the outpost does get up and you don't deal with it immediately, then the arrow slits come through, and sure, they might not be able to hit all of your gold villagers on that first one, but the second one that inevitably comes through that bunny hops forward will be able to hit it. We'll be able to shuttle it down. We'll be able to shut it down, but he's managed to do well. 9 villagers on the King's Palace. We'll be looking to scale him into the mid-game at a solid position. On the other side of the map, the Golden Horn Tower is coming up now for Crackety here. Only level 3 on the cistern at the moment. I'd love to see him rise that a little bit higher. Of course, for anybody unfamiliar with this landmark, it is the equivalent of 12 villagers if you're able to get a level 5 cistern connected to the network. As long as the Golden Horn Tower is within that influence, that's going to be really, really important. But the numbers here pretty low for Crackety at this stage. 11 military for Striker, 2 military for Crackety, and the age ups come through within seconds of each other. Both players now reaching the castle age. Where do we go from here? Looks like we've got Iron Undermesh coming in on one side, Specialized Pick on the other side, Monastery being thrown down immediately by Crackety. Let's check in on the other side of the map and see if we're gonna have the same thing. No, it looks like double stable. Double stable for double knights. Don't mind if I do, and you can see Striker immediately taking position in the middle of the map. No arrow slits coming through just yet on this outpost, but looks like it will do some pretty decent damage here against the longbows as the first one comes out. He's just trying to prevent that gold from being gathered. The key here is looking to get the knights in. If he can get the knights into the base, it's going to be absolutely fine. But now the cataphract together with the Keshiks looking to make a connection, and indeed they will. Veterancy coming through for those longbows. Perfectly timed. Wonderful little job there with the cataphract, striking all of those longbowmen, continuing to chase them away for the most part here. Expect to see those knights on the way through. Looks like the knights not really rallied towards the longbow. Instead, might even be looking to just go past and pick up villagers potentially, which is definitely the right call. Throw away the longbows. Definitely overcommitted a little bit there with the longbows. Didn't really get a whole lot of value out of it, but it looks like Striker will be spotted out by the outpost now, running into line of sight, and you can see he's immediately running past. Will he dare spot? Oh, he spots the monk. Not going to go for it. Now making his way towards the outside of the berries. Will spot out these deer villagers as well, but Striker looking up the hill doesn't see it. Cannot see the villagers, and unfortunately goes a little bit empty-handed. 2 more knights on the backside. More farms being added in. Double monastery coming out for the Englishman. I say the Englishman. He's actually German, but he's playing the English, so we'll call him the Englishman. Just like we call Crackety here the Byzantinian man. What do you think the Byzantines called themselves? The Byzantinians? Then you're just kind of implying something about their, I'd be like the Byzantigians, the big boys, the big buys. I don't know, man. What do they call it? Byzantinians? I feel like it's just Byzantinians, right? Like Argentinians, Argentina, Byzantines. Anyway, look, we'll leave your suggestion down in the comments. We'll take it on board for next time. We're coming up with the medieval. I don't even know where we're going. Anyway, let's get back to the game. Barracks coming up here. Could be a sign of a composition to come. Crossbow are in the queue. He's already got 5 out on the field at the moment. Expect to see Spearman joining them as well. Spearman crossbow, of course, notorious as one of the best combos in the game. And of course, whenever you're going into a fast castle, you never really want to open directly with it unless you're going for a big eco play. Nice little micro coming through. It looks like we do have Wallalol coming down. Won't be able to find it. Looks like the monk will get zapped. Indeed it does. And now the crossbows making their way forward, forcing back Crackety here from this position. But it's important to note that we always want to open up, whenever we're going for a castle age timing like this, we always open up with knights, cataphracts, keshiks, whatever it is our heavy cavalry unit is, because that's going to allow us to contest the relics. That's the most important thing for us in this situation. We want to try and deny relics off our opponent, secure them for ourselves. You can see that there are 2 remaining in the middle of the map. It's going to be about making sure we secure them. One of them looks like it will be going over towards Crackety, and the second one has got another monk running towards it. Numbers still looking really good here for Crackety at this stage. The cataphracts are doing absolute work. It's going to be careful not to lose them, though. A lot of health on these bad boys, but feels bad whenever you lose them. Now able to fall back away from this position. He's secured up that relic in the north. Relic in the south now going to be taken, and I got to tell you what, Striker dropping the double monastery and coming up short with only 1 relic has got to feel absolutely terrible. Keep in mind, these monasteries are not cheap. You're talking 200 wood for each of these. So very optimistic by Striker to go for the double monastery. I wouldn't say optimistic. Like, obviously, he's not going the double monastery to store the relics in. He's going the double monastery to have the double production from the monastery. That's essentially it. Instead, you know, you're going up against 1 monastery, so it's 1 versus 2, that sort of thing. And have a look at this. We've got double TC coming out for our washed up caster Crackety here. Nice little olive grove transition coming through as well. He's already up to that level 3 aqueduct network, and now going to be dropping down a 4th cistern and a 5th cistern back to back. This guy is quite heavy on the stone at the moment. 9 villagers on stone at the moment, still yet to leave the base. Have a look at this. We've got a mangonel emplacement on the way. Expect to see it on this front line. Indeed it is. It's going to make it very difficult to attack into. Keep in mind, one of the main things that balances the mangonel is that it's quite fragile. If you get caught off guard with your mangonel, well, you're going to be in a tough spot. But what's so great about the mangonel emplacement is, well, you've got 750 health. It's quite a fair bit of health, I'll say that much. Wall's starting to come up now for Striker on this south side, looking to segment that map away, saying, all right, well, I'm going to take the sacred site, but I'm just going to wall slightly behind it. And I agree with this. I think this is definitely the right call. You want to try and wall up. Remember, we always talk about the onions. You want to treat your base like an onion. Start your walls small, and then as you begin growing those walls, you want to build them out further and further. You don't want to destroy the walls that are behind it. You want to keep those walls because later in the game, you may need them to defend against those imminent raids from horsemen. But now, the sacred site is being contested almost immediately upon being taken. Really quick reaction time here by Crackety. Oh, never mind. He's just decided to leave it. Instead, going to be contesting these wall attempts on the south. And just look at that, 20 seconds late on that wall on the south side. Sacred site in the north now being taken. And it looks like we are going to be moving into crossbow spear. A couple of longbows getting thrown in with it as well. One of the keys that you want to be looking for here is making sure that you're fighting, or if you're going to be going for a spearman crossbow combo, you need to make sure that you are walling on the edges, and that's exactly what he's doing. And the reason why is because you're running infantry. You're running a combination of... Oh, that's a feels bad man timing. Look at that right there. Crackety here with precise precision. Let's go with it. He's looking a little bit like a map hacker. I'm not going to lie. Now, I know this is the real Crackety here, and I'm confident he was playing this game on stream, so I'm not going to call him out for it, but I will say right now, have you guys seen an uptick in reports of map hacking or just cheaters in general in Age of Empires 4? I was thinking about doing a video on it, but to be honest, I feel like bringing light to the concept of it is just going to encourage people to go towards it. And, you know, you don't really want people to go towards the light, not in that context. But I don't know. I've just seen a lot. You know, there's one particular case that I think it was Nancat highlighted with me. And there's one guy, I'm not kidding you, right? He map hacks. And when he loses the game, he forces a disconnect from the enemy player, and it crashes their game. And it doesn't come up as a loss. It comes up as like no one's won or no one's lost the game, but he doesn't lose points from it. And I'm just like, how is this happening? Like, it's 2024. I thought we had the technology, but obviously we don't. It seems like the hackers have got the technology. Anyway, we're not going to talk about it too much here. Let me know if you'd like to see a video covering it, because obviously if we do cover it, then it's going to put more pressure on the devs. But I think the reality is the devs know that it's a bit of an issue, and I'm confident that they'll be working towards solving that problem as soon as possible. But for the most part now, Crackety trying to solve the problem of the enemy creating too many villagers. Get out of here, he said. Unfortunately, not able to come up with too much here. He's only taken out 5 workers so far this game. Wasn't a whole lot recently. And now, moving towards that top side, we see Spearman Crossbow for our English player, but look at the number of longbows that are starting to get mixed in here, and he's going to expose his combination right now. Mangonel in placement, not yet throwing this outpost. It does come up perfectly, but we do see crossbows together with cataphracts on the other side. A bit dangerous going for cataphracts, a very expensive unit. Honestly, I don't like this unit. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't like this unit. Let me explain why I don't like this unit. Spearman crossbow, really good combo. What unit do they counter? The cataphract. Right, okay, sure. But they also counter the knight, and the knight's really good, right, Drongo? Right, exactly. The problem is, the cataphract, really expensive. It's like a super knight. The problem is, you just right-click it with all your crossbows, and it's dead. It's dead the exact same way a knight would be dead. So essentially, you're just losing more resources faster with the cataphract than if you just had knights. Anyway, that's the way I feel about it. But have a look at this. We've got a little bit of a switch coming up. Ghulam's coming in now for Crackety. Now, these guys are actually really important. We hadn't actually spoken much about mercenaries this game. Of course, that's not the mercenary hall, Drongo. That's the mercenary hall. Keshiks have come through. Ghulams are the second option available for him. Of course, the third option will be the tower elephants a little bit later. We can see the mercenary house is actually making Ghulams. Now, one of the reasons why the Ghulams are so damn good is because they actually inherit. I don't know if inherit is the right term, but they... Look, they have a trait. Their trait is that they can build siege in the battlefield, including the Springwood, including the Mangonel. So these guys are really, really important because none of your other units can do that, but you can essentially pretend to be the Abbasid dynasty or the Ayyubids, and that's cool. Keep gets denied. Another keep gonna... Oh my lord, look at this. Just when Crackety was going for a forward keep in the middle of the map, it gets denied, and now Striker pushes forward, throws down a keep, Mangonel in placement, looks to fire down on the keep. There's a lot of villagers here. This is 19 villagers at this stage. This is not a landmark. Keep that in mind. This is just a normal keep. We're going to head into the cinematic mode. 58 versus 23 on the military numbers. Not looking the best for Crackety here at the moment. If this keep gets up, he's going to be in a tough spot because his second town center's right next door to it. Plenty of production here, and it will guarantee that there is a foothold here for the English to maintain strong presence over this position. Not to mention there are 3 landmarks all within close proximity to each other. Looks like a keep is going to be coming up over on that east side of the base. Longbow numbers together with the crossbows looking really, really good at this stage of the game for Striker. And now becomes... Well, now it's the hard part for Crackety. How do you defend against this? So hopefully what we're seeing Striker do right now is making trebuchets out of this keep. That's what he should be doing, or at the very least battering rams. Let's check in with him and see exactly what he's got in queue. It's battering rams. Cool. So he knows what he's doing. This guy's pretty good. Mangonel shot from downtown. Holy... Did he put a battering ram... No, I thought he put a battering ram down and the mango shot immediately killed it. That would have been sick if it happened. I don't think it did though. Vils now. He's looking for a spot as to where he can actually put them. He's fearful about bringing them onto the stone outcropping, just not only because there's only 175 in there, but because that Mangonel in placement, he can't really read the range on it. Town center now going to be taken down. Crackety's managed to build up a pretty decent economic power behind this. Men-at-Arms going to get cleaned up by the crossbows, together with a couple of cavalry units. Lament Knight also here as well. Now those villagers making their way over towards the west side of the map. Walls completely up for our English player. Exactly what you want to be doing. And now on the offensive, it's starting to look like it might be a bit of a struggle here for Crackety. I don't know how he's going to pull himself back from this. Counterweight Trebuchet is out. Landmarks can start being worked on here. I guess he's going to probably focus down the outpost first. There she blows. Crossbows, longbows, moving towards the top side. Now, this is where you really want to be careful. I don't agree with this at all. I feel like you just need to move back. You need to stay safe at this stage of the game. It's really, really important. The most important thing you can do is just keep a cohesive front and just continue pushing the enemy landmarks. That is the one thing. So moving up to the top, all you're doing is you're asking for yourself to get flanked, to get bitten apart, torn apart, to get bitten to pieces. That's what you're asking for. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to do. So it's important at this stage, just keep building up those trebuchet numbers. Even look to throw down another keep. You've got a beautiful little spot that you can get right here and make sure we've got villagers on the front. The problem is there's not a whole lot of resources up here. The one stone outcropping that you do have is pretty low on resources, so might not be worth going for, but it doesn't even really look like he's committing to making moves on those landmarks. Of course, there are 3 landmarks. Crackety can always throw down a 4th landmark if he starts getting a little bit fearful that they're going to go down. And of course, he's always got repair in the back pocket as well. And at this stage of the game, economies are still pretty strong. So maybe it makes sense for Striker just to avoid going into that commitment, which is obviously quite a big one. But Crackety's still fighting a very large army against his opponent. Wolf looking to try and get involved, and there's the next keep that comes down. Not really a fan of this one, but I guess, I mean, I would have preferred something up here a little bit closer, but obviously, you know, you're up against, what triple trebuchet already. I don't know how he's gotten triple trebuchet. That's how he's gotten triple trebuchet. He's got 2 siege workshops. Double mangonel now also coming out as well for him. Crackety here. He's looking to try and hold with siege, and I think he might be able to do it. The mangonels in particular are definitely a trump card in this situation. You're up against an opponent who's got a large amount of longbows, a large amount of crossbows. So the mangonels do very effectively, and we're right on board with Striker. Striker definitely sees this coming. The question's going to be whether he reacts in time. Might have fallen asleep at the wheel. A little bit of a raid on the backside. It's men-at-arms. Where are those mangoes? Where are those mangoes? They sound just like an Australian in a supermarket, and there's been a flood in Queensland, and the trucks that were carrying the mangoes, they can't get through on the road because there's no other road because it's been flooded out. And so I'm just asking, I'm almost irate, abusive to the customer service. Like, where are the mangoes? Where are the mangoes? And then all of a sudden it's like, you want mangoes? Here's the mangoes. And all of a sudden the customer service staff member puts you back in your place as the mangoes get absolutely destroyed. Anyway. That story doesn't actually work because mangoes are where we grow. Well, in North Queensland, we actually grow our mangoes there. So they wouldn't have any problems with transporting the mangoes into there because they've got the mangoes already. It would be about getting the mangoes out. That's the real problem. And speaking of getting the mangoes out, that's exactly what Crackety needed to do here. He needed to get the mangoes out, and he just didn't. Should have listened to Drongo, Crackety. I almost called myself Uncle Drongo there. And, you know, look, I don't like to talk about my personal life too much, says the guy who literally put his son in the Outback Octagon teaser video. But I've recently become an uncle, which is cool. It's kind of cool. So I guess you can, I guess you can call me Uncle Drongo, if you weren't already calling me Daddy Drongo. So, all right, Drongo, get back to it. All right, we're back. Nice little defense here from Crackety. It should be remarked how significant these trebuchets played of a role. He managed to deny the second keep on the top side, took out the first keep, and still kept his head above water. I'll be honest, I don't know exactly how he did it. I don't know where he whittled the magic in from. It just felt like it was attrition. Crackety's economy never really stopped. We saw that he was dealing with an issue back home, but he still managed to keep the villagers working. They did not go idle for a large period of time. And now all of a sudden, despite being behind 11, 12 workers, Crackety is in a decent spot, but hold your horses. Don't get ahead of yourself, Drongo. We've seen you do it before. Don't do it again. It's the Wingard Palace. One of the forgotten landmarks of the English. Do you guys remember this landmark? I think this landmark summons a boat. Nope. No, it doesn't. Okay. What does it do? It allows the production of 4 battalions. The Wingard Army, the Wingard Rangers, the Wingard Raiders, and the Wingard Footmen. Now, this landmark used to be all that back in the day. They were the good old days. They were the days where you go English fast Imperial and you'd build the Wingard Palace and you'd just start pumping out trebuchets after trebuchets after trebuchets. They were the good old days where English trebuchets were undefeated. You could get all the upgrades for them, just exactly like Striker's thinking about doing right now by putting the Siege Workshop down. But unfortunately, those days are behind us. So I'm curious to see what kind of movement he makes, where he goes. Is he going to go for the Rangers? Those hand cannoneers? I think it's hand cannoneers and crossbows. Let's have a look and see. No, that's right. Oh, I completely forgot they changed it, didn't they? They completely changed it. He's going to go for the Wingard Army, though. Definitely the right call. I like this a lot. 2 spearmen, 2 crossbow, and a trebuchet. Of course, we've seen him go spearman crossbow already, so it's just going to complement him even further. Elite men-at-arms also now coming through, but up the other side of the map, Palatine School coming through here for Crackety. Hello, how you doing? Imperial Age, don't mind if I do. Both of these guys going to Imperial within minutes, within seconds of each other. And now we've got ourselves a ball game. 180 population for Striker, 149 for Crackety. So a bit of a difference between these two. Now, if we had to compare the pair in the late game. Oh my god, look at what... Numeri. Enemy hit by trample become vulnerable and receive 15% increased damage for 12 seconds. Is he doing it? Is he doing the strategy? I think he might be. Now, granted, he's not using the longbows, but I'm sure that a lot of range units are still going to get plenty of damage increase because of this. So let's explain why this is so good. The reason why this is so good. Let's see if we can find a cataphract. I can't find any cataphracts. I see some royal knights in queue. I see a Mangudai in queue. I see Keshiks. Apparently, we've got 6 cataphracts. Oh, my lord. We've got 6 cataphracts somewhere. Anyway, let me explain why this is good. This is good because it takes advantage of... I don't know how to say it, but it takes advantage of the numbers. That's the best way to think of it. So basically, the way that it works is this. When you charge, you apply a debuff to enemy units, and that debuff increases the damage they receive by 15%. I think that's how it works. I still... Dude, I still can't see the cataphracts. Where are they? Are they... There they are. Okay, okay. So, we've got... It doesn't even say. I don't even know how to see it. But anyway, the damage that you deal against your opponents is increased. So, it will mean for units like the crossbow that they're able to bypass more armor of, say, a men-at-arms because of that 15%. And basically, it just means you've got a crossbow that's effectively dealing a lot more damage than it should be, because normally the crossbow would be dealing damage against the men-at-arms, and you'd factor in armor for that. And that's part of the reason why this technology got nerfed, because we never actually covered it when it was overpowered, but it was absolutely broken. It was just about getting there. The question's going to be whether it's still that good. And I think we're about to find out. Biology now coming through for Crackety. He's looking to try and take advantage of the full suite of elite upgraded cavalry from the Byzantines. He's currently role-playing as 4 different civilizations. We've got the Mangadai. Sorry, that's the Horse Archer. I apologize. We've got the Horse Archer from the Rus. We've got the French Royal Knight. We've got the Keshiks from the Ottomans, I want to say. Yes, the Ottomans. And of course, finally, to round it out, we've got the Cataphract from the Byzantines. And now pushing through. Cavalry starting to look a little bit strong. He's got those elite upgrades. I don't think we've got elite upgrades on these units just yet. These crossbows are still basic. Veteran, see, on the longbows, still no elite upgrades. And now those longbows are going to be firing off the volley. We can hear just how much faster they're going to be able to attack with that volley, but they're still not elite upgraded. No incendiary arrows, probably no +3. It's not a huge amount they've got going for them, but where's the rest of the cavalry here? Because the English front is looking really solid. I know that there's more cavalry. I know that there's Royal Knights somewhere. I know he's hiding them, but where are they? Let's have a look and see if we can spot them. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of a raid coming through on this bottom side. Oh my god, look at the size of it. Jeez Louise, dude. That's a lot of units right there. Cataphracts together with Royal Knights, hand in hand. The ultimate cavalry composition in the late game. He has got one of everything, baby. Look at that. Oh, you love to see it. The Cataphracts fully upgraded with the Royal Knights, hand in hand with the Horse Archers on the back. Everybody is helping out right now. He wants to take you all to town. And he's not paying for your dinner, though. That is the problem that you're going to have. Hierosophonts now going to be coming up towards this gate. A huge stone wall in the middle. Crackety here. He was facing an English masterpiece. But not today. The Byzantines look to turn the tide of battle as the fire makes its way onto the gates. It's only a matter of time until the gates burn down and the cavalry run through. Oh my god! Wow, that is the Palatine School right there. That's what's bringing all those units out. Look at the size of the army! What the hell is this? Dude, this landmark is busted as hell! What? So for anybody who doesn't know, the landmark that he's gone for is the Palatine School. The way that it works is simple. Every Lametanai, Hierosophont, Cataphract, or one other unit, the Varangian Guard that you make, there's a 30% chance to spawn one at this landmark. Crackety was like, yeah, those are rookie numbers. We've gone for 100%. Wow, look at the army size for him here. He's max 200 population, more than 88 military units, completely surrounds the men-at-arms. Now towards the middle of the map, more charges coming through. Cataphract's going to head off down towards the south side. It's just going to get an absolute surround. The Hierosophonts coming through as well, facing up against this English defense. The Cataphracts, the Royal Knights, absolutely ripping everything apart. The big charge comes through, buffing up all of these damage dealers on the back line. The crossbows, I don't know if they've got their elite upgrades. They look kind of cool. I reckon they probably do. 4 more Hierosophonts coming in. The Springald having no problems dealing with them. Well, I'd say otherwise. The Springald's having an absolute trouble time dealing with it. Look at him go. A single Springald trying to hold off everything. Hierosophonts make their way towards the keep. It's only a matter of time till it goes down. We hear more units attacking on the backside. It's a whole bunch of Royal Knights raiding out all of these units. Cataphract in here as well. dealing out damage. He's made it through to the back line, and part of the reason why we talk about building that onion defense is to make sure this never happens. Look at this. The Kairusophons coming in 2 by 2 by 2. Every single step of the way. We bring the UI back in right now because the washed-up caster is no longer a washed-up player. He is doing incredibly. Palatine School on this side of the map. We can see him rallying down towards this position. He's got plenty of Lametani in the backside. A little bit of a raid on the north, trying to draw away attention from this big attack in the middle. It has just been a complete cavalry domination, and now continuing to siege down everything else that's here. You've got Imperial Age that's come through from the English, but you've got to really ask the question, does it even matter at this stage? Elite units are through. Has he picked up? He's picked up his enclosures technology. Still plenty of gold in the bank, but it just feels like the food economy isn't there. How many farms did he end up making? Let's see if we can spot that. He did end up making a total of 56 farms, which is enough. It's just that his economy's been really shut down at this stage of the game. Crackety doing an incredible job just running around every single corner. He's got cavalry moving everywhere. And now those Kairusophons continue to march through. How's the Palatine School doing? Look at this. 3 cataphracts sitting back here. I think I might have changed my mind about this landmark. 4 cataphracts. And I think I might have just changed my mind about the cataphract as well. I was literally just shit-talking this unit. It's like, this is a terrible unit. No one should make this unit. This unit is ugly. But it turns out this unit's actually pretty good. Wow. I will say that I think that you probably want to make it so that you have other units as well. Like, you don't just make the cataphract only, which should really go without saying. Like, for all my boys out there just making cataphracts only in 1v1, switch it up. Yeah, we'll switch it up a little bit. And maybe we'll just add in a couple of archers, maybe a couple of longbows, something like that. But look at this. Everything that he's doing is just focusing on getting more and more of these unique units out. And that's just it. That's just it. He gives up immediately. Crackety here, taking the game, but off striker. An incredible game and a wonderful demonstration of that cavalry late game. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go check them out. I'll leave links in the description to where you can watch them live. Incredibly well played by Crackety here.